Welcome back. You're now tuned into the other side of sports. Ern, we finally here. Celebrate good times. Come on. Yo, back on board?
Hell no. Is the coach black? Is he firing Ron day one and promoting Eric Bieniemy? If that ain't the case, I ain't back.
Yo, we got Joe Harris, the billionaire, and his group, uh, which consists of Mitchell Rails and Magic Johnson is a part of that group. Have put together a deal that's been preliminary accepted by Dan Snyder and upwards of $6 billion. Is Dan finally out of everybody's hair?
I don't know that he was ever in anybody's head.
Hmm.
It just, people jumped onto an issue that they have never had an issue with before because they wanted to get him out, out as the owner. So
Hmm.
I don't know that any of the stuff that was going on really was that much of a headache to the people that actually root for the team because they don't tend to care about anything other than wins and losses.
That's a fact. In his tenure as the owner, 27 QBs, 10 head coaches, 6 playoff appearances. What does Joe Harris have to do to like? I mean,
Anything.
he's coming in this jump with basically the world at his feet. It's almost absolutely nothing he could do other than nah. This stuff he could do, dog, and the Bama's are turning them quick.
I
You
don't
come
think
out the
so.
gate, lose. You don't think so?
I think it's almost nothing he could do because it's like one of those situations where Obama be with a youngin for a minute and be miserable, and then the next one they get, it don't have to be even good. It's just that they mind is
Will
better
you
than the
marry
last.
me?
You already know. And then every little thing he does, it's gonna be basic stuff. They're gonna be psyched like, oh, it's so refreshing to have an owner who. It's just,
Dog,
it's
he's
gonna be
he's
so
a
annoying.
he's an owner already of an NBA team, the Sixers. Does that help him that he's
And
already
partial
like
owner of the Steelers too. I
yeah,
mean, of
partial
course
owner
it
of the
does.
Steelers?
Especially because that team in Philadelphia, to me, the formula that they use to get good is the formula that Washington needed to use for the last 20 years, and they refused to. And that's why
Mhm.
they've been, stuck in purgatory for 20 something years. So you be really bad, you draft high, you get blue chip guys, and then you have a chance to win. I mean, they haven't won it all, but now they're competitive every year. They're in one of the, top half of the league in playoff seeds, and people talk
Mhm.
about them as having a chance because they have, blue chippers. So that's the formula.
And I mean, say what you want about Rivers. He a solid coach though.
Yeah,
He not trash.
yeah. The organization is run competently. I
Okay.
think Dan was so far off the rails, out of touch with reality, and just out of touch. He's a strange person to begin with. Of course, all billionaires are going to be a little bit different,
That man got
but
feet fetishes, all types of
he's a
freaky things he
wild,
be
wild
doing.
dude. And he's so far out of touch, he doesn't even know the difference between right and wrong, it seems like, when it comes down to the stuff he was
Mhm.
doing and saying. It's
Yeah,
like he
he
feels
got
so
it.
entitled that he could just do whatever he wants. Like it's his team, he can do what he wants. And I mean, you can't really say he's being punished. The Bama's making 7.5 times what he made. I mean, what
Mhm.
he paid for the team. You cashing the Bama out for $6 billion, and they acting like it's punishment. I mean, it's not even that.
Well, he not getting the whole 6 billion. I mean, some of that bread's going back to the league, and
1.8.
then he got taxes. You can't escape the man. Then
Dog.
loan, you got to
People
pay
that
back
rich don't pay
loan.
taxes. He gonna move that money around. He gonna do what he gotta do. You probably gonna pay more taxes than him this on
That's
this
a
sale.
fact,
Cut
though.
it out.
I'm
Cut it
trying to
out.
figure out. No, I'm trying to find out. I'm asking Chat GPT how I get around these taxes. 'Cause these man was trying to get me, dog. Uh, so we got some hope again.
Do you? This is the joint that frustrates me with y'all, dog. With y'all Washington fans.
Hold on, dog.
or just
You a
people in
Washington fan?
general. No,
You
I'm
a
not.
fan too, dog? What you
I'm not a
mean?
fan of no teams here now. Now the Wizards on my S list too. I don't mess with. I ain't rocking with none of these
No,
jokers.
I can't. Yeah, I
I
can't
wish
even.
they run that on out of town.
Yeah,
But
he next. Go ahead and
it's
buy them.
it's just this assumption that something different is better. And I get it. The Bama was not better is not the word because he was so bad anything would be better than him. But the assumption is that all of a sudden now the winning starts.
Okay.
It's not automatic. It's a bunch of loser owners in the league who ain't getting kicked out. All they got to do is not be trying to touch youngins and take video of youngins. And all you got
Yeah,
to do is not be
the
a
bar is
perv.
super low. Yeah, the
Yeah.
bar is
So
super low.
so it's not a guarantee. And he owned a basketball team. It's not a apples to apples transition coming on as a football team, particularly in this city, and just all of a sudden, Dan gone. Now you're gonna win.
Yeah. Well, he has some roots in this area, so does that help?
It's a lot of people with roots in this area, but they damn
Okay.
idiots. We hear them talking about the skins for the last what? How long we been doing this?
Yeah,
7 years, something.
years. My
It's a
lifetime.
bunch of idiots from here. So what that mean?
No, so your sentiment, nothing's changed for you. You
I,
still where you was before Dan left, or you?
my I don't care one way or the other. That's the thing. Like
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
one of these guys who. My issue with the whole thing is that the issue that they use to get him out, the people don't really care about because they were
Okay.
lining up to vote for a guy who was saying grab him by the P right over there in Northern Virginia. They all was lined up voting for him. Now all of a sudden they care about women's rights and not harassing women in the workplace and all of these formalities that they just didn't care about the last election. So
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden people
They just
pretending
had cheerleaders
like
on the
it's a
sideline,
major
looking at
yeah.
them, dancing in front of kids, shaking and popping and all that.
So I never got like super excited about this joint because it was so disingenuous, though. It's just
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
care
a
either way, and it's
yeah,
not my team anymore. I don't care if they
it
win
was
or
a
lose
funny, yeah, it was a funny
until
move.
they make some changes. You know what I mean in the front office and head coach position.
Okay. What if you the owner and you come in? What's the first thing you doing to this roster? Well, maybe not even the roster, the team just in general.
That's not
You
gonna
taking
happen.
over. You
What I
taking. I want to know what you would do. If
fire Ron, I'm
that's what you
firing
would do,
Ron. That's the
day
step one.
one.
Day one, firing Ron, promoting.
You're not even going to take a look
I've
at it.
seen
Like,
enough. If he's from the area, he been watching the games. Ron is incompetent. He can't coach. He's good with these Instagram moments where you can get those little viral clips of calling guys and like I'm sure they love him, but he can't coach. He can't manage the clock. All of the
day
things you
one.
need to do, he can't handle decision making and answering questions. All of the like little minute things that you have to do to win football games, he's not good at. I'm sure he'd
Okay.
be a great coach in 1980. He'd probably be Hall of Famer. He had more rings than Joe Gibbs if he was coaching in the 80s. But it's a new day, and he's not good at the job in
So
2023.
you cut the umbilical cord and you letting the enemy take over.
Not
Day one.
letting Bieniemy's going to allow me to be lucky enough to make him the head coach. That
That he
no, this
should have
Bama
been
should have
off.
got a job the last 3 years.
Okay.
You lucked up by having this
Oh,
Bama in your house,
that's a power move.
and
You
I
not
think go
That's
ahead
a power move.
because
If,
that go
do
ahead.
you even think that's even in consider? Do you
It's
think?
not. It's too late. So it's not in consideration because it would be something that they would say, "Oh, here we go. We got another Dan." So I believe he's going to allow Ron to play out this year. But from my perspective, I don't want Ron meddling in the draft, especially on offense. I want Bieniemy to have like pick who you want.
Mhm.
So I would get Ron out of here before because it's just when you got a coach in a lame duck year. We saw it with Jay Gruden too. It kind of
500.
it messes up a lot of stuff. Like, do you want to draft a quarterback who's going to have to learn one system who potentially could be in another system the next year? There's just so many variables. If I know a guy's not the guy, just get him out of here now, so I can start figuring it out. But that's not going to be the case. That's not what they're going to do. So if
It wouldn't do that because of Mayhew and that connection. I feel like you know, they gonna be protective of one another because they both on the hook. They doing all these interviews and
you think Mayhew going to leave his
press
job for Ron,
conferences.
if the new owner came in and fired Mayhew, you think Ron going to leave to stand up for
No,
his guy?
no,
Dog,
no.
these
But
Bama's
I'm
don't really
saying
care about
If
each other.
Mayhew's out, then That's those are two positions that you would have to fill. You're not gonna let the enemy run the show like that.
So this is what I'm trying to say. If you
Okay.
know somebody is not the guy and they're going to f up the draft, if you don't believe that, you either believe they're good at their job or you're not, or you don't. If you believe
Okay.
they're bad at their job, what difference does it make if they're still there, or you have to promote somebody from the scout team or whoever to be interim? What difference does it make if they're not going to do nothing but mess it up anyway?
That's a good point. I have no rebuttal.
The sooner the better. That's just how I look at it. But it's too much like something Dan might do. So to protect yourself and the goodwill that's going to come from you getting hired, that's not the splash they can make. The splash that they can make is going and getting Lamar.
You think is that on the table?
It's not, but that's something you could do
Earn
that
you
could
that would earn
that
you
would put eyes on the team
that would
immediately.
earn you insurmountable like
It would,
cachet.
and we talked about it last year when we were watching
Hey,
Garbage
you'll
Heineke.
double your bread up immediately.
Yeah,
Don't
the
hey,
value of the
oh,
team
about to go up.
going
Like
up.
you already start the road back to get your bread back. And it's only
Yeah,
gonna cost you 200 extra million to do it.
it's a lot.
250.
Yeah, it's a lot of talent on this team, and we talked about it last year. They're quarterback away of having a real chance. So not only having a competent quarterback, but you go get a top five quarterback in
Elite.
Lamar Jackson. What that does to your running game, how much better it makes your wide receivers. It just makes the defense. It just makes so much more of your team competent. Go get Bijan at pick 16. Have an elite running back there too. It's just so many things you could do by adding Lamar. Um,
Ah,
that would immediately make your team a contender.
but
Maybe not for a Super
you
Bowl.
wouldn't be able to if you get Lamar, you giving up your first round pick, so you wouldn't even be able to have that draft pick. That draft pick's gone.
So do it after the draft.
Okay. I like all of that. It's just gonna be interesting to see how what moves are made by the new ownership and how soon. I mean, it's still this deal still has to get voted on.
They haven't even submitted it as an official offer. They're just saying there's been a preliminary agreement. They
Mhm.
keep trying to break. There's not really going to be any news about this joint until it's sent to the league, certified. You know what I mean? It's not going to be done before the draft. So it's just people trying to race to be the first to break a story that everybody already knew. Like everybody knew Josh Harris's group was going to be
Was
the
the
ones to
front
get
runner?
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially when Bezos was like, "Nah, I'm out."
Yeah, nah,
You see,
Bob.
all of a sudden within 24 hours, they're like, "Okay, sign, seal, delivered."
Ah, no, it's a new day. We got new ownership. It's gonna be different, Aaron. I feel it.
No, it'll be different, but that doesn't mean does different mean winning. That's what I don't
Okay,
think
all
is
right,
an
that's fair.
automatic.
That's fair.
Football is
That's
the way that football is kind of like handled in the NFL is hard, dog. Even though it's a simple game and it should be simple, it's the rigmarole of the NFL is hard.
so. I'll say this though: if Josh Harris, my bad, if he's has stake ownership in the Steelers organization, and he's seen how that organization has been run at a competent level for decades,
Has he seen it though?
could
You got
be
to be in the building day to day, dog, to absorb how this thing works.
he's been around it though. I mean, if
Dog,
your money is invested in it, you gotta.
reporters been around it. Dog, you got to be around that joint day to day to know how to not be involved. The key is you hire competent people and stay the f out the way. You just sign the checks. That's essentially what the best owners are supposed to do, and that's one thing that Dan would never do because he just picked certain guys he disliked, certain guys he liked. Trent Williams being one of the guys he said he not getting the red center mine, so you send a Hall of Fame left tackle to another team. It's just like stuff like that he would always be involved in where he just didn't like certain guys or he would like certain guys and they would
Mhm,
accuse him of saying, "Hey, let's go get this guy," when the team would imply that they wanted somebody else. So it's just don't meddle. So it's not like he's gonna come in with some winning strategy or he has these ideas. I mean, of course, they need to improve. There's a lot of financial improvements that are needed on the team, from the training facility, practice facility. People want a new stadium. It's just a lot of PR and marketing that's going to be required to gain the goodwill back. That's the
Will
stuff.
he? Will the new stadium be in Northern Virginia, or will
I
it
sure
be
as
in
hell hope
DC?
not. It should be in DC, but the way things is going,
Big
I,
Tooth, you're not. You're not
Big Tooth Bowser, it's, it's looking like It's probably going to end up being in Virginia.
okay. They got land out there, so it's something to work with.
I'm not riding down Prince William County to watch no football game, dog. That ain't
right,
happening.
right on TV, dog. Right on Hulu.
The experience is
Ah,
better anyway.
yeah. Ah, follow us at OSS 980 at Other Side of Sports. Chime in. Let us know in the comments how you feeling about this new move by the franchise to kick Dan out, bring in Josh Harris and his group. Do you think it's going to be different? Do you think it's going to impact the winning? Let us know. Your ideas and your thoughts. We out.